But now the red dot is on. And you can start anytime you want.
All right. Shall I say hello?
Yes.
And this is Frances Slade. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my autobiography.
That's right.
And I hope you like it. And it's Christmas at the Trinidad's house. And my dad was Santa. He played Santa. And he loved it. He'd dress up and go around to different houses and come back. And one time I caught him dressed up as Santa. Seen him look out the window, and I seen the red hat go by the window. Oh, I got so excited. I ran to the cellar light, and I seen the cellar light on. I shut the light off. Lo and behold, my dad fell down the stairs. And I got all excited. I didn't know Dad was going down the cellar stairs. He went down the cellar stairs to change his clothes. So we wouldn't know he was playing Santa. But anyhow, Dad got up, brushed himself off, almost fell in the coal bin. And then that was the end of with Santa. He always played Santa every year. And of course, Dad died a week before Christmas. That was his favorite time. He died a week before Christmas.
Well, where were you born?
I was born on Benefit Street in Pawtucket.
In a house?
In a little house that Dad and Mother rented while Dad built the 3-decker on Carter Avenue. He was waiting to move in. And I was only a baby. And my mother had me out on the porch, second floor porch. And I don't know how this ever happened, but Mother told me I fell from the porch into a tree.
When you were born?
When I was small, only a
small.
baby. I was a baby then, because we lived on Benefit Street. Forgot the name of it, I don't know, 683, I'm not sure, I have to look it up. It was on Benefit Street, and thank God I was all right. The tree was there, it held me like a cradle. And from then, we moved to Carter Avenue, 99 Carter Avenue.
3-story building.
3-story house.
Three,
We lived on the first floor.
3-car garage.
4-car garage. Daddy
4-car
made.
garage.
4-car garage, because he wanted a big garage
And you lived in the first floor?
on the first floor. 2-bedroom house. Porch, big living room, dining room, kitchen, pantry, and bathroom. And it was a very comfortable house.
So you moved in there about 1927.
Yeah. And then Johnny was born in that house. Johnny was born in the house.
Oh, 1926, okay.
Johnny, my brother, which was 1 year difference in age.
When was he born?
He was born January 24th,
1927.
1927.
Right.
I was 25, 1925. He was just a year's difference in my age. We were like twins. My mother dressed us as twins. The little Navy outfits, you know, they had. She dressed us alike all the time. Yeah. And I used to play with his toys. He'd play with my toys. And we had a very nice growing up life. We loved Christmas. Christmas was the highlight of our year. We loved it. Dad and Ma would put all the train sets underneath the tree, and we couldn't wait to get up in the morning, Christmas morning, and unwrap all the presents. It was very nice. Christmas was beautiful.
And you had a train under the tree?
Yeah, Johnny had a train. He loved a train, and Santa bought him a train. And Santa bought me ice skates and a black velvet skirt, which I always wanted. I wanted to dress like Sonia Heenan. White turtleneck sweater, a white hat, white ice skates. And I finally got them, because I used to have boys' tubeless ice skates. You wouldn't be familiar with those, but they're tubeless. They're racing skates. That's the difference on a girl's skates and boys' skates. So I finally got my beautiful skates my mother bought me. There was nothing that we didn't have that we asked for. And everything we wanted.
Do you remember starting school at that school?
Mm-hmm. I remember the first day.
Did you go to first grade or kindergarten?
Well, we didn't have kindergarten. My mother didn't send us to kindergarten. We had a first grade. I remember that. And the teacher's name was Miss McGowan. And Johnny's teacher was Miss Hall. And the first day he got there, he kicked her in the shins. Why he did it, I don't know. But he didn't want to be there. And when recess time came, and my mother said, you take Johnny's hand and you go home together. That was our instructions. So when recess came, we didn't know it. We thought that's the bell to go home. So we started out. I grabbed Johnny's hand and out we went. Recess time. We were outside anyway. So we just went on home. But we went the wrong direction. Instead of going down Carter Avenue, we went up Newport Avenue. We went up out of the school and up. We didn't cross the street. We just kept going. School report is missing. They called the police because they knew my father very well. They called Dad. We were walking down Newport Avenue together, hand in hand. We had to get in the police car. They brought us back to school. I'll never forget that. Recess time was time to go home. Yeah.
I bet you never did that again.
No. The teachers told us you don't go home, you stay in the recess in the yard. You just don't go home. But we thought the first day of school, we didn't know. Recess time, the bell rang, I guess you go home. So we just went home.
Did you both start first grade at the same time?
Well, what happened is my mother kept me back because Johnny was younger, a year younger. But we both started school. We both started together in school. At least they put us together. And my mother kept me back. But I went into a second grade. Johnny was still in first grade. Well, they kept me back, so I went back to another grade to stay with Johnny. My mother wanted us both to graduate together.
Did you go a year there as a first grader by yourself?
I was with Johnny all the time.
Okay.
Because Johnny started. We both started together. He had Miss Hall and I had Miss McGowan. So I don't know how, when they went to graduate me to the second grade, they kept me back so I'd stay with Johnny. So we kept together all the time.
Right.
First, second, third, fourth, fifth. They didn't think it would hurt me that much.
Did you go to the first grade with him though when he went to school the first time?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't go
We
to
went
first grade.
together.
You didn't go to first grade by yourself.
No,
Okay.
I was with Johnny because my mother said put him together and stay with him. That's what she told me. So I remember being together. I guess they allowed it. They didn't say anything about it. That's unusual, right? For them
Yeah,
to-
well, you had to be
do
5,
that.
I think, to
So,
go to school.
I started school because I'm older now than all my classmates.
Yes, you are.
I'm older than Huey. And
Yes.
they say, how come you're much older, Fran? Because I stayed back, second grade,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
Any other questions on that?
Well, do you ever remember anything else about the first grade? Or before first grade?
No, I could just remember Johnny acting up.
What would he
And
do?
we got lost, and then we had recess, and then we would go home for lunch. No, we stayed there for lunch.
Oh, you did stay there
We
for
stayed
lunch.
there. We had a little sandwich. Instead, it was cafeteria there. We did stay. Yeah, because we were so small. They didn't want us walking home,
Right.
down Carter Avenue, walking alone. We stayed there, and then 3:30 we got out of school. That's that time we went, 3:30. And that's all I can remember with the first grade. And second grade, third grade, fourth grade, I can remember my Miss Cahoon. I remember her, the fourth grade teacher. I remember the sixth grade, we had problems with my brother, Miss Reed. We were together in school, all together in the same class, which is not a good idea when I think back at it. Because Johnny, he was reciting in the school. Miss Trinidad stand, Mr. Trinidad stand, recite. I sat down. She got Johnny to stand up and recite, and he wouldn't sit down. And I don't know, he just got a stubborn streak in him, I guess. And he was sixth grade here.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Mr. Trinidad, you can sit down. And he just looked at her. And he didn't want to sit down. Oh, he's not going to sit down. So I got up and I said, Johnny, sit down. And Johnny sat down. And that was
Really?
it. It was a little embarrassing for him, but I guess he, you know, I'm older. I was older, you know, and kind of took care of him a little bit. But he just got a stubborn streak in his head that he didn't want to sit down. And he was thick-headed, Johnny, wasn't thick-headed. But we got out of James C. Potter School,
Right.
grammar school, went into Goff Junior High School.
In 6th grade or 7th
We
grade?
made it through there.
Was that 7th grade?
That was 6th grade in grammar school. That's in 6th
Right,
grade. Then we
6th
went
grade.
7, 8, and 9. Goff Junior High School. Our principal was Mr. Gerard. Henry J. Winters was our grammar school teacher. Henry J. Winters, which is named after Henry J. Winters School.
You're kidding me. He was your
He
principal
was
in
our
junior high
principal
school.
in grammar school
In grammar school.
when I first started school. Grammar school. Henry J. Winters.
Did you know Mr. Winters, the
Sure, I
principal?
remember him. Fat belly. Had a fat belly. Hunched over, Mr. Winters, Henry J. Winters, and he's named after Henry J. Winters School, which my Earl attended school.
That's right. I
Okay.
remember that. And where
And then I
did?
went to
So then you went to the junior high school.
Went to junior high school and loved it. I was joined the Glee Club with a music teacher. Her name, I think, was, which everybody never liked her. I think it was Sullivan. I'm trying to think of her name. But she loved me, and how they do it, they determine what kind of voice you have, if you're a soprano, alto, what you are. And she calls you up, sing the notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. She can determine if you're a soprano, or semi, or a alto, or what you are. She takes you aside, you're good. And I was classified as a good singer. She put me, and I become one of they call sopranos, and also altos, and a special group. I forgot the name of that group now that we were in. There's about just 8 of the singers. She picks out beautiful voices that sing separately. I forget what you call them now. I forget the names of them.
Soloists?
Well, not really soloists. They were like, I can't think. Is that funny? They're called a separate name, out of the Glee Club itself. You know, they take them out. And she puts you in the Christmas pageants, and you sing certain sections that they take these voices that are very good voices. And then I sang with her for years.
What did you sing in the Christmas concerts?
We sang all the Christmas carols. I was in minstrel shows. I was in minstrel shows in Potter School.
In Potter
James C.
School?
Potter School I started with Miss Murphy. I was singing teacher
What
there.
was it? What's a minstrel show?
Well, a minstrel show is St. Patty's show. It's a minstrel show with black faces. It's called a minstrel show. They have black faces. And they call them end people on both sides of the stage. And Miss Murphy would say, "Who knows how to tap dance?" I raised my hand. I know how. I never tap danced in my life. Up on the stage, I came up on the stage. Show me what you can do. I started dancing. How I knew these steps, don't ask me. I used to hear Buddy's Gang on the radio. I didn't get much from that. We didn't have TV. She said, "Okay, you know what I want to teach you. Get over there." I was doing the waltz clog, which is a dance. Then she teaches you the whole waltz clog. From beginning to end. She taught me the waltz clog. She taught me how to dance. And I always wanted to dance. My mother would never hear of it. My mother said, "No, you can't be a dancer." Because I was very heavy busted. She couldn't see me dancing. My cousin Florrie was a beautiful dancer. Dancing run in our family. Today, she's a beautiful dancer. Ballet dancer, everything. but I wasn't the dancer. But I did that show, and I was in the minstrel show and loved it.
Did you wear blackface when you did the minstrel
No,
show?
no black faces. Only the end men were black faces.
Oh, the end men.
They call the end men. They had black faces. No, we had regular makeup on, and I think I remember we wore pretty outfits, green and white outfits, because like St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's
parade.
Day.
And little dresses, sequins, and I remember going crazy trying to make these outfits with sequins. It's horrible. We had to do them ourselves.
You did the sewing?
We had to do sewing at home.
Is this in elementary school?
Yeah, bring it home. My mother helped me as much as she could, but it was a job.
That is a job.
We put the sequins together, and I think I had help though. I don't know if Mrs. Gately helped me or not.
And your mom and dad had their own business.
Oh yeah, they had their business. They had their shop on Exchange Street. They had my Donatop company. Yeah, they had their own business. So mom and dad were busy all day. They worked all day. We were latch and key kids. We had keys around our neck. So that we come home, we let ourselves in the house. And we had our work to do. My mother said, you dust, mop, put the rubbish out. That's what we had to do every day. Dry mop every day. Then do your homework in the living room floor, table, a big living room. And Johnny and I did our work first. Then Johnny would go out and play basketball in the backyard, only when our work was done. And the kids would call us, to come out and play. But we never could go out until our work was done. And I used to have to start supper. For my mother and dad, if she had macaroni and cheese already fixed, I just heat it up. American chop suey, heat it up. American chop suey, just heat it up. Everything was heated up, we didn't have to cook anything.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother and father come home, 5 o'clock. They drive up, that was it. And we were ready for them.
What address was the Modern Top? What was it called?
Modern Auto Top Company
Modern
on Exchange
Auto Top.
Street.
On Exchange,
On Exchange Street, Pawtucket. Yeah. Right next to Ryan's store, Ryan's Pharmacy on the corner, which is now a restaurant. We go down Exchange Street, and you get Modern Diner, which isn't there anymore. It's a vacant hole. Then you get Pawtucket Times. We're right next to Pawtucket Times. Go down a little further. Daddy moved down. Another little place he got next to Ryan's, Levine's. There was a shoe man next door, and tobacco place next door. So one was a cobbler, Daddy was next to, but she's long gone. The best cobbler in the world, and he knew us since we were little kids, do our shoes and everything. But Daddy moved 3 times there, well, twice really, down there, once down Exchange from Pawtucket Times down to the other little store there, which Frank Crook was in the back, and he did all Frank Crook's work, because Frank Crook was located in the back of Daddy's shop.
Frank Cook was?
An automobile dealer,
Oh, okay.
Frank Crook.
What'd he sell?
Cars.
Used cars? New cars?
New cars, used cars. My dad would upholster the seats, would do the tops. He had a business with him. My dad was in business with him, so he was all set. You're all set with a businessman that sells cars. You got it made. So Dad was all set right there. Then Dad, we had Public Market next door to Dad on Exchange Street. Public Market was right on that corner. Public Market. And I remember getting a job, I'll never forget it, Christmas, selling turkeys.
Live turkeys?
Live, yeah, turkeys, no,
No.
not, they're butchered, but working in the meat market,
Yeah?
selling turkeys for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there next door to get a job. They hired me, put a white apron on me, white hat, put me on behind the meat counter, and I was lifting up turkeys, weighing them, selling them to everybody. I remember working there, Public Market. I loved it. Punch the card, when you go in.
With a time card?
Time card.
Now, were the turkeys in
Always
plastic?
a time.
How were the turkeys
No,
wrapped?
they were in a case. You bring them out.
Just,
you know,
were
regular
they,
turkey. Put them
they-
on the scale, weigh them,
did they
wrap them up in a bag.
were they wrapped in plastic or anything?
Well, these don't. I didn't remember them being in plastic. They would just wrap them up in a bag, put them in a bag, I guess. Paper bag.
So you were picking
People
up
take 'em
raw
home.
turkeys and weighing them.
Raw turkeys and weighing them on scales. Yeah. Got pretty bloody too.
I would say
Pretty
so.
bloody.
You did that?
Yeah, I did
But
that.
you hate blood.
Oh, I didn't like that at all. But hey, it was a job, and it wasn't that bad. They pretty cleaned them up pretty well. They weren't that bloody. They clean
They
them
would
up
drain
and
them.
keep them clean.
Yes,
and
they would drain them.
They were
anyway.
nice. Yeah, they
Yes.
looked good. They were nice turkeys, clean turkeys. Butterball turkeys. You pick them up, put them on. Heavy job picking those turkeys up and put them on scales, weighing them, put them in a bag, and off they go. Then they pay for them, you know.
You didn't have to figure out the price, I bet.
Thank God, no. No,
No,
I didn't.
you couldn't think out the price. Now, summer times in that time you spent in Jamestown when you were at Carter's school, Potter Burns School and Gulf Junior High School. You spent summers in Jamestown. When would you and Johnny go down to Jamestown?
Oh, well. Summers in Jamestown with my aunt and uncle, Aunt Emily,
And Uncle?
and Manuel Morgan. That's his name, Manuel Morgan. I call him T. Morgan, which means Uncle Morgan. And on their farm, we peddle milk. 5 a.m., we were up in the morning. My brother Johnny and I. We fed the chickens, cows, and we had a bull. Well, that bull was something else. He was a mean bull. And one day, Johnny and I don't know how it happened, but we were out there, and this bull got out of that fence somewhere along the line. I don't think we let him out. I don't know, Johnny might have, but I don't think so. I think the fence was loose or something, but the bull got out and into the backyard and started running after us. We ran in the house. Of course, my uncle came out with a pitchfork. He had to get this bull back into the fenced-in yard. He had a time, but he got him back in, but he was a little upset with us. He figured we aggravated the bull. So the bull broke through the fence and got after us. We aggravated him. We're teasing him, I guess, you know. How kids are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the bull story.
So what else would you do when you were down there for the
Well,
summer?
we pitched hay. Not wool, but hay. With all my cousins. And my cousins, there was a bunch of them. There was Danny, Arthur, Carl, a whole bunch of boys that my auntie had. Very poor lady. And all she did was iron all day for the rich people. And I can just picture her in there in the kitchen, ironing baskets and baskets. And she was barefoot, sweating and ironing clothes.
Was
for
that
rich
at the
people.
farm? Or did she live
This
somewhere
was
else?
in Jamestown.
In Jamestown.
Yeah, a few houses over from where my cousin Mary Ragland lives, over there, and they were poor, and they were my uncle and aunt. That was my mother's sister and brother.
What were their names?
Manuel, he was Manuel.
Oh, I thought the people at the farm were Manuel.
Well, that's Manuel Morgan, but he was.
That's okay.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to get this right because we called him Three Belize. There was a name. Phillips, I think it was Phillips. I'm trying to think because there was a lot of Manuels. I think he was Manuel. Arthur. Oh, what was their last name? Vieras. They were the Vieras. Vieras. Related to my mother. We're all cousins. So when we went down to Jamestown, all the cousins were here. We were there. They would come up the house, and here we all got together.
And you had a cousin named Mary, too? Mary Ragland?
Mary Ragland.
What was her
Which
maiden
is
name?
Mary Vieira.
Oh, she was a Mary. Was she in this family?
Yes.
Was she in the family that ironed? So
Well, they're all related. Yeah, they're all cousins. We're all related. The Vieiras are all related.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Jamestown's populated with the Vieiras. The Vieiras and the Morgans.
Mm-hmm.
They were all related. Uncles, aunts, cousins, everything.
So you'd work on the
So we
hay.
work on the farm with my uncle. We pitched hay with my cousins. Yep.
What about swimming? Where'd you go swimming?
Right at East Ferry and West Ferry, mostly West Ferry. I'd walk every day from my Lawn Avenue, Jamestown. Walk every day and go swimming at West Ferry.
In the ocean?
At the ferry boat, where the
I know,
ferry
but that's
boats came, that's the ocean.
It's the ocean.
That's the ocean. Ferry
It's
boat.
the ocean.
That's the ocean.
Was it a lake?
Oh no, there's no lakes there. That's ocean.
Right.
You're island. You're on an island.
How did you get to the island?
Jalen, ferry boat. You come on a ferry boat.
Well, how did you get to the ferry boat?
You drive from Pawtucket right down highway and get to the ferry boat.
Would they take your car over?
Yes, we get on the car over here, Sanderstown, in Rhode Island, North Kingston. Get on the ferry boat there.
Well, let's
and
assume,
go into Jamestown.
let's assume no one knows about it. Start over again. You go down to Saunderstown.
From Pawtucket.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to Sanderstown town. That's where you catch the ferry boat from there.
Right.
And now is a bridge. They make a bridge. But we had a ferry boat. Get on the ferry boat with the cars.
With the cars. Now, did you sit in the car for the trip, or did you?
We get out of the car and lean over the rail and watch. You don't have to sit in the car.
Was it
Everybody
big?
gets out.
Was it a big
It's
ferry?
a big ferry boat that holds cars.
I know.
Well, you must picture what a ferry boat looks like. It holds double cars. One car was in, two lanes of cars. They drove one here, 2 lanes, here, 2 lanes. They direct them on. Guys direct those cars on these ferry boats. Trucks, milk trucks, bread trucks. They brought food from the main island onto the island. They had no way of getting food and milk and things like that. And we take milk from the farms and bring them off from the ferry boat. See what I mean?
You'd send milk
From
back to
there?
the mainland?
Well, yeah, my uncle would. He'd put them in big cans and off they go to Newport.
How many cows did he have?
Well, he had a lot of cows. My God, must have, say, 10, 12 cows. He milked those cows. He had a big barn. He had milk. He put milk in bottles, and we deliver the milk.
You got up at 5:30 in the morning to deliver the milk.
We had to get 5. He's up. My uncle was up 4:30, getting everything ready, getting the milk jugs ready, and he'd do the restaurants. The restaurants had the big jugs. I mean, they take these silver jugs. You know what the silver jugs look like. He'd load them up. We'd go to the restaurants, the great big.
So it was fresh milk,
Of course, from the cows. It's very fresh.
not pasteurized or homogenized or anything.
No, it wasn't pasteurized. He did fresh milk there.
Wow.
And we used to drink the milk right from the cows. The kitty cats would come and get the milk. They love the milk.
The kitty
cats
cats.
drank milk. Yeah, they drank the milk.
And you were there at least, you went there almost every summer.
Every summer we were there, yeah, because we went to Horseneck Beach. We were at Horseneck Beach with my cousin Elmarinda. We had a shack there until 38 took it away. Then we didn't have no more house to go to. 38, hurricane took our house.
Well, we're jumping ahead. 38, you were older.
Well,
We're still talking
38
about.
we had a house in 38 Horseneck Beach before we spent our summers in Jamestown. We were older then.
Right.
We spent our summers, we got our school, we spent our summers in Jamestown. My mother and pop pack our things. We spent a whole summer there. Stayed there with my aunt and uncle. Helped them feed the chickens, and we had a ball.
Now, is there anything before the hurricane you remember?
Before the hurricane?
Yeah, that's 38.
Well, I remember coming home from school, walking home when
I know that's the hurricane.
hit.
We're going to get to the hurricane stories now.
Okay.
I mean, unless there's something in junior high school you want to remember before then.
No, I'm just trying to junior high school, went into the plays, we always went to plays. And one time in Gulf Junior High School, I got stage strike. Stage struck.
Stage fright.
I went into Gulf Junior High, it was a big deal. I did fine there in operettas, stage, fine. And then when I went into Pawtucket Tolman High School, which is East High School, that was big time for me. And the first year I was a sophomore there, they had me on the stage donating a song, Jolly Molly Pitcher, which has never been sung before. They asked me to sing it. I rehearsed it a couple of times on the stage. I was fine. the big night came. I was supposed to go out and sing. I go out on the stage, and the lights are so bright. They're so big. It's all I can see is lights. So the piano goes da 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 dum. That's my cue. Sing, Francis, right? Jolly Molly Pitcher. You know, I'm gonna sing. I stand there. I'm all dressed up as Jolly Molly Pitcher in my outfit. I just stare, you know. All the people, I don't say anything, so they give me the encore again. Ja da 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 dum. Nothing comes out of my mouth. Well, they tried a third time. So my director's telling me, take it easy, you know, just relax. Jolly Molly Pitcher, you know, in your gingham gown. I can't remember anything else. I walk off the stage.
Oh. You're going to only remember those two
Everybody
lines? Well, why don't you sing those two lines
clap.
for us? Sing those two lines.
Jolly
for us.
Molly Pitcher, in your gingham gown. That's all I can remember. I can't remember. It was a Civil War song, sang during the Civil War. Jolly Molly Pitcher. I don't know if you'd see it on that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So let's go back to the hurricane.
so you know where I go. I'm so embarrassed.
Yes.
Tolman High has a big place way up on the top, a steeple top. And I go upstairs to the very top. And I stay there. I don't want to ever come down again. I'm so embarrassed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people, family come up to me and said, you'll be all right. So that was my experience on the stage.
Now we can go back to the
Treble clef.
treble
Remember I
clef.
said I couldn't think of what, they call it a treble clef. That was
Right.
in a certain division of singing in a glee club.
Right.
They call it, have you ever heard of it?
A treble clef is the ones above middle C. The bass are ones below middle C.
Treble clef. So
Right.
they took us and I was in a treble clef. And I always sang in the glee club all the time in treble clef. Okay?
Now, what happened during the hurricane? You were in school.
Oh yes, and we came out 3:30 out of school. James C. Potter School, Grammar School, 1938. We have no clue what's going on. I'm walking home. Everybody's walking home. And I had a little derby hat on. A little brown derby hat. I love little derby hats. Lord knows where it went. It flew off my head. And up I went. Like, what's her name there? That flies in the sky? Mary Poppins? The wind took me off my feet and maybe put me from here, would you say how many feet? From here to over there.
About 8 feet.
8 feet. I was blown up off my feet. And I got the biggest kick out of it, not thinking anything of it. Wow, I got a free ride that time. I didn't know I'm in a hurricane. No one knew we're in a hurricane. When I got home, I look at the garage doors, and they're going back and forth. I said, gee, I better get out there and hold those garage doors. So I lean up against the garage doors, and it's starting to rain on us now. It's raining on my head. I'm holding the garage doors. In comes my mother and father. They come home in the car. They know something's going on, right? They pull up. They don't know what it is. Daddy said, get in the house right away, Francis. I'll take care of the garage doors. So Dad barred them, you know, with the wooden bars, like.
Mm-hmm.
He had to hold them because they were going to blow away.
That's right.
They were wooden garage doors. They were going to be gone. But they kept going like this, back and forth. And I knew if we didn't hold them or stand there with that, they were going to be gone. So Daddy said, get inside. I'll get wood. Daddy got wood. And I don't know how he did it, but he barricaded them with the wood. He saved the garage doors.
Terrible
Got in
day.
the house. We did not know we had a hurricane.
What was it like inside the house?
Well, the power went out.
Hmm.
Yep. And all I can remember that it was just the wind was so bad. My mother was frightened to death of it because she hated wind. She remembered coming over on the boat with wind. And she said, "This is bad. This is not just a windstorm. This is more than that. It's like a hurricane." And it was blowing the trees. It was horrible. It had a funny color to everything.
That's the lighting.
Funny color.
Yes.
Yeah, to everything. And you could smell it like in the air. It was just not like anything else.
It's from a lot of things that floated in the air, right?
Probably, yeah. And,
So you lost your electricity.
yeah.
Did you use a real
Daddy-
fire stove or did you use a gas stove?
No,
then?
we had gas stove. Mama always had gas stove. We didn't
Mhm.
have electricity. But we could cook. So we had gas.
could
We always
cook,
had
oh,
gas
yeah.
stove. So we're all right on that pace there. But I remember them having candles and kerosene lamps. I know Betty Ma had kerosene lamps. You know, in those days, they come in handy, kerosene lamps. We always had them down at the beach
How
house.
long did it last? Or did you just go to bed?
Oh, gosh, that lasted a long time, it seemed like. Then we seen pictures in the paper. We seen Providence with the water way up to the windows, cars abandoned. We didn't have television, we just had radios.
No, you didn't.
No. And movie houses showed pictures of it.
Did you go out from your house? Was there much damage in Pawtucket?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of damage. There was trees down all over the place, blocking roads. That's all I can remember. Don't remember too much more. I just remember how frightened everyone was. And we could hear the wind, and my mother was frightened to death. She was scared to death anyway of storms, always was. And she kept like praying and walking around nervous wreck, you know, completely nervous. And Dad was too. They were worried about the garage being blown away. You know, the roof being blown away. But thank God the house stayed intact. No windows were blown out, you know. We didn't have that happen. And we had an old car. I remember the old car that we had. But everything was all right. That's all I remember. And I remember people helping people out. That's it. But it was an awful... Of course, we were concerned about our house in Jamestown. Horse Neck Beach. It was gone. We took a ride down to see it. It was gone. There was nothing left. The dunes were high as our house. 3-flamer house. Dunes, high dunes. Leveled. Just leveled. You wouldn't know Horse Neck Beach.
Really?
High dunes. Big, big dunes. High as buildings. Leveled.
Leveled. All the
Leveled.
sand got
Right.
blown. All the sand got blown
into
away.
the water. Don't forget, you had tidal waves that went way into Westport. Leveled Horse Neck Beach, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Leveled the pavilion. Just completely took over. Leveled it. There was nothing. If I take a ride down there, I can show you where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Leveled it. Yeah. Tidal waves. As big as 3-story houses.
Yes.
12 feet. Tidal waves? That's what it was, a tidal wave.
That's right.
Providence wasn't.
Now, you lost some relatives in that hurricane.
Yeah. Oh, well, my husband's brother died in the 38 hurricane. My husband's brother.
Where was
38
he?
hurricane. That's Florida. He was in Florida.
He was in Florida? What was his
We
name?
lost a cousin
What was
in
his
James.
name?
Grady Slade.
Grady? You had a brother-in-law
Brother-in-law. Died.
who
That
died
was
in the 38 hurricane.
My husband's brother died.
What was he doing?
Fisherman, I guess. A fisherman fishing. He was lost in the 38 hurricane.
I'll
That's
be
all I
darned.
know.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, and my husband's brother, he lost him. He had another brother, Bonnie, and Grady. Grady died in the hurricane, and then my husband Earl. But Bonnie died in the 38 hurricane. Then we had a cousin died in Jamestown crossing that little bridge there, town bridge, in a school bus. The school bus brown with all the kids in it, coming home. Imagine that. The tidal wave took them. Took the bus and the children and everybody. On a little bridge that crosses over from Town Beach, Jamestown. Yep. Where my husband used to go fishing over there, Plum Point. Not Plum Point Shores, that's on the other side. This was Town Beach, where Town Beach was. Yep.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. That's the story on the hurricane. That hurricane was, you'll never forget that hurricane, 38 hurricane, never. The largest hurricane that we've ever experienced.